This is Mark Hersman. Mark is the president of the Ohio Poetry Association. He's also a professional archaeologist. And interesting, I think it's safe to say, very beautifully combines his vocational archaeology with his application of poetry. So, Mark Hersman.
Thank you.
It is a heavy one.
Things haven't changed since I was a student here. Everybody sits in the back. I brought my chapbook with me, and I have some extras if you like archaeology poetry, which is probably a new thing for you today. But there are some extras. And rather than reading what you can read, Robert Frost or Jane Hirschfeld or Ted Hoosier, those are three poets that I frequently go back to find my center and to remember why I love to write and why I love poetry. I want to step into spring. Downshift. A Ford Escape motors over winter swipe and spring swale. Here, Township 104 stretches up and down with untamed soft spots. And it always seems as though the uneven sand and strewn gravel never agree, but that's okay. Slow is good too. Along one shoulder, a remnant of Ohio and Erie Canal. The other spills extended days of atrophy, where sunken ground cradles earth of roadside marsh, where moss-strewn turtles balance rotted log with wood ducks. It's April across the brown, and rounds of island green, a raft of cattail slumber. But painted water snakes bask, then coil, as the left rear wheel hesitates. Slow, these days pass all too quickly. Stepping into summer, the canning jar. She wants a poem with tiny orbs, glowing lanterns topped with fire, iridescent greens and yellows everywhere, anywhere. The woman wants light. Thousands of flickering lights to illuminate her higher sky, to fill her eyes with childhood sight. She needs to touch their moon. But remembrance never sits still, rarely stops for anyone, and random count is difficult to measure. Still she tries. Somewhere in Wisconsin, many years gone by, a little girl held an empty mason jar. Hungry fingers plucked Christmas lights from evening sky. Six-legged sequins in flight, golden bugs from backyard air. She filled the glass with lightning, watched each flicker, and knew without being told the best of dreams needs space and lots of room to breathe. She emptied the jar, the entire collection, into neighborhood graves and grass. And now, this grandmother wants to dance once again, wants to hold that jar filled with fire. She needs a poem with wings. The big draw that got me started with my archaeology in Coshocton, Ohio, was they were about to build an ethanol plant. And contract archaeologists were brought in to investigate and see if there were burials there before the industry could continue. And I assisted with some of the digging. What the shaman didn't see. A corn cob separates the dream from distant river and the harvest of fall soybean. A low terrace divides two grain fields from years of undulating sand, centuries of flood, fluctuating water table. 3 acres of ancient sleep conceal the holy ground. It holds the breath, cradles ritual, contains the bones of Adina, Hopa, people. Pottery and fire-cracked rock shroud the area. But the dream says one day these people will hunt again undisturbed along the sacred Muskingum River. They will stand with anointed grave offerings, gathered family walk with the Great Spirit. The promise said these manifestations will rise, trust, and believe. But what I see is the abrasive ethnal monolith whose bowels unearth yellow sand, stir red ochre, replace sculpted sepulchre with legs of silver steel, and the blood of corn and the sacrifice of soil will justify the stain. What the shaman didn't see was the intrusive disregard of corporate thought, arrogance uncovered. If you can imagine holding an artifact, an arrowhead, a knife, a bone, all in your hand that was held 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 years ago, but you're the first. And try to do that. Awakened. A handheld trowel tugs the earth, probes, peels back years of ground all the way down to yellow, to cold, wet sand. 18 inches beneath leaf litter, beetles and crossing sun, smooth against 10,000 years of wash, restless want stretches with undisturbed soil as 2 arrowheads sleep. Side by side, these rocks share dreams with too many years to remember. But today, they awaken. The seasoned hand of careful digger salts a gentle touch, and all will recall every hungry thought, each soft arousal. Flint, laced with orange patina, coats of blue and green, rise as honored storytellers. We will hold them, and they will dance once again. Who hasn't revisited their old high school where you graduated? It changes. It changes. Studs. S-T-U-D-S. Studs. Defiance was slick hair, greasy comb, a camel cigarette. Pen-etched tattoos of red, blue dice, thick swastikas crowded each brazen knuckle. Hatred, honed black pointed shoes, white socks. Heavy leather jackets were pierced with silver studs and loud snaps. Tight blue thread, wound and tied into jeans, they rode inside their Levi's. No belt, no cuffs, no hesitation. There was nothing golden about those bastards. Their victims were forced to their knees. We call them hoods, but never to their face. My last piece. Charmed with where we grew up. In the country, we get our education either in a barn, behind a barn, in a haymock, or under a bridge. So little kids go watch under bridges. Beneath Portage Road Bridge, growing up in Worcester, Ohio. The little Apple Creek circled around, slow and deep, squeezed its breath between 2 concrete pillars. I always thought that tight shoe would wear a whole lot better if the gray cable loosened. It didn't. The low silver steel held its tight fit throughout my Wayne elementary years. This is where I studied. Hook and bobbered fish, open tossed bags stuffed with empty quart bottles of beer, squirmed with Hefner's playing. I always hid my red Schwinn flyer in the ditch beneath a swarm of jewelry and Spanish needles. Had to hide from Butch, the neighborhood bully. How could someone lose their panties or leave a pair of Levi's? Smoke so many cigarettes. Wheat pennies, mercury dimes, Benny's bar with all of its lost matches, rings, too many distractions, all delivered for a little boy's eye. The last of August before junior high, I knew those deep water fish, bluegill, sucker, channel cat, roasted frogs, bulls, and greens, used live crickets when fish refused dangling bait. I was good. The only one who knew cooked meals without lead weights connected. I watched the origin, heard the moves of clothing lost, sounds left behind, watched strangers study paperbacks and fold-out magazines, smelled camels first-hand smoke, saw girls' breasts 3 different times, and I sat beside my first Negro. 1 long mile from my father, the man and I shared warm beer. And every time I told his gray beard, insisted I was smart enough to move on, Johnny would tip the wrapped blacks. One more time, said low and cool, always said, just watch your bobber, boy. Thank you.